If your mobile phone's like your 11th finger, chances are you're on social media a lot. And higher chances that you've come across the official Humans of Bombay page that boasts of a total social media following of 1.2 million followers. Sharing stories of dreams, success, failures and hope is the human behind Humans of Bombay, Karishma Mehta, who's with us in the studios. Thanks so much for joining in.
Thank you. I'm really excited.
So you started off at the tender age of 21. Can you tell us how exactly it happened?
So I was just out of college and I'm a business economics major. So I took a sabbatical and I loved Humans of New York. And I remember looking on Facebook for Humans of Bombay and it wasn't there. So out of instinct, I just blocked it.
Okay.
And I kept thinking like, why not? Why isn't this in a place like Bombay? Because there are so many different worlds within the same city.
Exactly.
It would be amazing to catalog those kind of stories. And one December morning, I just decided that, okay, let's just go for it. A photographer friend of mine back in the day and I just went to Marine Drive and started talking to people on the street.
You know, you spoke of Humans of New York and there is a bit of criticism that it's been copied from that. So how do you take the flack?
It's definitely inspired from Humans of New York. There's no question about it. He started a movement that is global. You know, there is a Humans of in almost every city in the world. But I think I don't really deal with the flack because I think we've created our own identity. We're very different.
Now, let's talk about the book as well. I understand that was the first source of revenue for this project. You've had some seed funding. You're looking at fundraising plans. Tell us a little bit more about this business model.
Right. So the book was the initial revenue model. We did self-publish that book and it went really well. But close to, I think, 2 years ago, 1.5 to 2 years ago, we did start doing fruitful collaborations. So that is our biggest revenue stream. But having said that, we did receive a seed round earlier this year in March, and that's when the team really took off.
I wasn't surprised to read that 9 out of 10 people that you approach just say a flat out no. So how do you warm up to them? How do you, engage with them to get those interesting anecdotes or stories?
So I think back in the day it was a lot harder because people didn't know about Humans of Bombay. Now people send in their recommendations and say like, interview my aunt and interview my uncle, friend, whoever. But also I think it's important to mention that I used to go out on interviews. I don't anymore. My team goes out on shoot. So how it typically happens is we choose a location, we get down on the ground and just start interviewing people on the street who we've never met before.
Now, the storytelling skills of Humans of Bombay has changed lives. You managed to raise money for an NGO as well. Can you tell us about some of these impact stories and the changes that you've seen?
Yeah. So we've raised about over, I think, 6.5 crores in the past 2.5, 3 years, just through crowdfunding. So I think the most special one for me was she was the daughter of a sex worker and she had been rescued by an NGO called Kranti. Started fueling her pain into art and she started traveling all over the country and creating art and applied to NYU and got in on full scholarship. But they couldn't pay for her room, boarding and flights. So I told her story and I think within 12 hours, we raised the entire amount. I think it was somewhere like 17 lakhs. And she was on a flight to New York.
So speaking of future, tell us a little bit about what's lined up.
So we are getting into active CSR management, which is something that will be another source of revenue. We want to be able to connect the right people who are willing to spend to the people who actually need and make impact and develop India in the way that we see the construct of that society happening.
Biggest deal, Karishma. Congratulations. You interviewed the Prime Minister, PM Modi. Can you tell us how that happened and what emerged out of that conversation?
I think it was just something that happened very organically, and we've been writing letters to the PMO saying, requesting him for his time. So we spoke about him, the human behind the Prime Minister throughout. So we had 22 minutes with the Prime Minister, and I think I'll remember each of those 22 minutes for a long time.
Oh, that's for sure. Thank you so much, Karishma. Wishing you all the very best. So that's Humans of Bombay, that is tracking the beat of the city one story at a time.